All right, all right, all right, all right, all right, all right. What is good? What is good? What is good, ladies and gentlemen? Of course, you know who I is, the good doc, Dr. Mike, back again, once again, back again with another live show, ladies and gentlemen. About to have the time of my life this particular evening. But before we get into it, y'all know what to do when you jump in. Make sure you caress, molest, and distress that like button. And once it needs it, most definitely has to have it. Official time check, we're looking at 8:57 in the p.m. Eastern Standard Time, which makes it about what 7:57 for everybody Central, about 5:57 for everybody repping that West Coast, and of course 9:57 in the AM Philippine Standard Time. Wherever you guys are reporting in the world today, maraming salamat sa lahat. Thank you guys for joining the good doc on this particular live stream today. We're gonna have some fun. Let me go ahead and open up my chat real quick because I want to make sure that I don't miss any comments. Of course, I see we got 7 in the building. Appreciate y'all being here. Appreciate y'all showing love. I'm going to give people a fair chance to come in here before I share in my recollection and my revelations. Shout out to the Red Solo Cup. And definitely the contents that are within it. Man, like I said, Doc doesn't ask for much, man. I need y'all to get the likes up. Take care of that for the Doc. And if you guys want to support the channel, please feel free to do so. But of course, I'm just happy to have you guys in the building. Get my shout outs real quick, and we're going to go ahead and knock this out. Essential Classics, what's good with you, man? My boy Robert Morris, my man Chris, Terry Edwards, and of course, my man William Connery. Now, I sincerely hope that you guys had a chance to check out the previous live stream that I did with my OG, one of my close YouTube collaborators, people that I really fuck with on a regular basis, my boy Jay, Black American Expat. I hope that you guys had a chance to catch that one. Yes, it was probably about close to a couple of hours long, but there were a lot of jewels that were dropped in that video, and I give a big salute to the homie for allowing me, for taking the time out of his day to join me on that live stream. Okay. But I want to talk to you guys about something, because if you were part of that live stream, particularly, we had a lot of revelations, man. Shaky Warrior, what's good? Earl Owens, I see you guys. I see you guys in the building. Thank y'all for being here. All right. In that particular live stream, I'm going to go ahead and knock this out real quick. We had a lot of revelations. And in that particular video, we had a minor discussion that kind of expanded a little bit as the live stream went on about dating younger Filipinas. All right. If you guys remember, somebody posted some very interesting statistics. I like to call them statistics because these are evidence that can be backed by fact. This is evidence that is factual, things that can be backed by actual examples given. And in this particular example that was given, there were some Philippine YouTubers that were in relationships with younger Filipinas. If you guys remember who they are, I don't need you to repeat the names. You know who they are. We're not focusing on the actual individual, but the overall ideology. Okay. And it really stuck out to me when that particular statistic was mentioned to me, and that type of evidence was, put in front of me, because I'm like, wow. I guess my thought process is a lot different than a lot of other people, because I honestly have to ask my gentleman, how serious can you be dating an 18-year-old Filipina? How serious can a relationship be with an 18-year-old Filipina? Now, I'm not necessarily focusing specifically on the age 1-8. More or less, I'm speaking on how serious can a relationship be with younger Filipinas. We're talking probably around the age of 22, 23 and below. Now, I mean, from 18 to 23, not below 18, of course, you know that. But when I think about it out loud, how serious can a relationship be? It throws me off when I actually hear about guys that are in full-fledged relationships with younger women. I'm talking about not just a short-term relationship, but something that they see could possibly gradually grow into something more. And it kind of blows my mind, because the average foreigner that I've ever talked to has always expressed to me that, a relationship between an older foreigner and possibly a younger Filipina is nothing more than a mutual agreement wherein both parties are getting what they need. As an example, the foreigner is with the the foreigners with the younger Filipina for the eye candy, the arm candy. You know, she's a good look, and like my man Jay said, it could just be that she's there to make other people jealous. But on the flip side, maybe the younger Filipina is receiving the monetary financial security that she's always needed in life. Maybe she's able to do a little bit more because she's in a relationship with a older foreigner than she would being with like a regular Filipino guy or with anything like that. So when you think about it in hindsight, we always approached it as a mutually beneficial relationship between the younger Filipina and the possible older foreigner. And so to hear that guys are in full-fledged relationships with younger Filipinas, I guess in hindsight, where we stand, if we are viewers of a channel or we see these things happening in front of us, maybe it's not necessarily online or whatever it may be, but if it's happening in an area where we have a front row seat, all we can do is sit there and watch it play out. That is about all that we can do from that particular narrative. Just sit there and see how it plays out, man. Let's see what happens in the years to come with the older guy dating seriously the younger Filipina. I never thought that any older guy who was in the know, anybody who is really there or really connected, would really ever see themselves trying to date somebody so young. I always thought that they would settle for somebody a little bit more mature. I'm not talking about old, but someone a little bit more mature. You always would expect that that would be what would happen. And that if you do happen to see an older foreigner with a younger Filipina, at the very least, they're just dating. You know what I'm saying? You don't necessarily hear them talking about the idea of getting married, the idea of settling down and potentially having a kid. You don't really hear about these particular conversations between younger Filipinas and older foreigners. Now, there's the debate on the kid situation, and if you are in your elder years and you've already had kids and you don't plan on having kids again, you get with a younger Filipina, then what? Okay, now we're dating this younger Filipina. As she gets older, maybe the pressure from the family, maybe the pressure from everybody else. Okay, you've been with this foreigner for X amount of years now, or however long you've been together. Okay, when are you guys going to settle down? When are you going to have kids? You're not going to get any younger. You know, we guys have these particular conversations. You dig? These particular conversations happen all the time, and it happens behind the scenes, and it never really happens while the foreigner is around. You know, the conversation about having kids and getting married amongst the family, that particular trajectory or that particular part of the conversation only comes to the foreigner's attention when the young lady brings it up to him. Like, okay, we've been together for how long? What are we going to do? Where's this relationship going? And when these particular conversations happen or these particular questions start to come about, then what? It puts the foreigner in a box or in a position to where he has to answer it. Unless you're smart enough to outline what you're really looking for and what you really want at the beginning and let her know where you stand and what you're looking for and how far this relationship could possibly be, don't be surprised that if as the years go on, she's going to want different things. Granted, she may have said everything is okay in the moment. You kind of think that years down the line, things could change. You understand? You never know what could happen today, tomorrow, or the day after that. And I think a lot of that comes from family pressure. Unless she doesn't have any family and that is just a gift from God to where you don't have to worry about anybody pressuring outside of the relationship, then you're good. But for the most part, being an older gentleman dating a younger Filipina, it kind of begins and ends at the dating aspect. But to hear about a lot of these guys thinking about marriage and thinking about long-term relationships and thinking about taking this to the next level, it definitely pressures and stretches the narrative outside of what we previously thought. I've never really came across any foreigner until you guys bring this to my attention, that has ever said, I've never come across any foreigner that has ever said to me that I'm going to marry a younger Filipina. Dating wise, all the time. That's all you guys look for. I don't know why you overlook the more mature ladies. That is up to you. A lot of you guys constantly tell me, Doc, I didn't fly halfway around the world to date a woman my age or a oldie, per se. A lot of y'all say that shit all the time. But in hindsight, y'all just overlooking a group of women that need love too. But that's neither here nor there. Tonight's topic is definitely how serious can you honestly be? How serious can you honestly be in a relationship with an 18-year-old Filipina? Apparently, it's a whole lot serious than I thought, but I want to hear from you guys. I definitely want to hear what you guys have to say about this particular narrative. How serious do you honestly believe a relationship between an older gentleman and a younger Filipina can possibly be? Luckily for me, honestly, if you guys know my relationship, me and my young lady, we're only 3 years apart. I'm older than her by only 3 years. So we're very close in age. Matter of fact, like I said, we went to school together. But when you see the older guys in their 50s and their 60s, or late 40s, 50s, and 60s, and literally the only market that they go to specifically is 21 and below, between 18 and 21, of course. And this is the only girls that they're dating. You kind of have the thought process, okay, they're just looking for fun. But then as time goes on, things stop being fun and things start getting serious. Now, all of a sudden, it gets to the point where, when did we start taking relationships seriously with younger Filipinas? When did it become a thing for us to start taking relationships serious with younger Filipinas? Now, I'm going to go out on a limb, and I'm honestly going to be honest. You can never put all Filipinas in one category. Duh, we know this. But in my opinion, it's just very rare that you come across a Filipina that is that young, that is A, ready to settle down, B, ready to be what you need her to be, and all of the above. It just seems like it's, few and far between. Maybe you come across a young lady that comes from the provincial areas. Maybe she was raised that way. Maybe her mom married when she was younger. Like, to be honest with you, my young lady's mother, she married and had her when she was 18. So, it's not as if, but speaking from a older generation, like back in the day, that was probably the thing to do. And maybe in the provinces, that may be something that is still happening, where they marry young. But if we're talking about a city girl, young lady coming from, the more westernized parts of the country, now all of a sudden, it's just very rare for me to honestly think that a young lady is just going to be so willing to settle down, so willing to be ready to marry you. Some girls marry you basically because they feel like they have zero choice. That is also an option as well. They feel like they can't do any better than you. I've heard girls tell me this before. They feel like they can't do any better than what they already have. This guy is already financially secure, already willing to pay for this, already willing to do that. So why not marry him? And we'll just figure it out from there. That's no different than the arranged marriages that are happening all around the world. It's just, I feel like over time, I honestly question the seriousness of a relationship when it's with somebody so young. Trust me, when I was 18 years old, you do not want to know what the good doc was doing when he was 18 years old. And the last thing I was thinking about, from a male perspective, of course, was settling down and trying to have a girlfriend. I'll tell you that. That was the last thing on my mind, especially being young, going to school in the Philippines. You have all of these girls at your disposal. All of these girls are, I don't want to say fascinated, but definitely curious about the foreigner guy. And like I said, there were very few foreigners at this time. We're talking about the early part of 2000. Things have changed in 2020. We know that. But, you can imagine the landscape for myself back in that particular time frame. You understand? You can imagine what the landscape was like for me, being one of only two, because me and my brother went to college together, only two foreigners in the school. I'm sorry, there were three, including my best friend. You can imagine what it was like for me. And at 18 years old, 19 years old, that was literally the last thing on my mind. So thinking about where we stand now, thinking about the new age young ladies that we're dealing with, thinking about the new age Filipinas that we're dealing with, I kind of feel like to see an 18-year-old, 19-year-old Filipina settling down, like my man Urban IX says, marriage for convenience, you dig? And you know, it's just something that's on my mind. I mean, you guys let me know how you feel. I'm just here to throw out some ideas, things that I've been thinking about over the last couple of days. I appreciate all of y'all coming through. I see we got 20 watching. I appreciate all 20 of you coming through, showing love, you know, appreciating the channel. Thank you guys. I hope you guys are getting the likes up on the video. At the very least, caress it, molest it, and de-stress yourself all over that like button, because I know it wants it, it needs it, it most definitely has to have it. If you guys want to support the good doc, please feel free to do so. But of course, I am happy that you come here, spend a little bit of time with me today. And then. All right. I'm gonna read my comments real quick because I'm late. I'm sorry, guys, but I'm gonna read through them real quick. Just let me take a sip. So, like I said, I shouted out my people earlier, but let me make sure I didn't miss anybody new. My man Shaky Warrior, I got you. My boy Earl Owens, all the way from Tacoma, Washington. Appreciate you coming through. My man Christopher says the one going down in YouTube history. He said that one. Oh, you talking about the J, the Black American expat? Yeah, we tore it up that night. That was a good one. If you guys didn't catch it, it's actually still available on it's still available on the tube, man. You guys can check that one out later. Shaky, you're right. Filipinas can definitely be jealous at times. I feel like if your girl is not jealous or not possessive more specifically, but if she's not jealous of you talking to other girls, then you probably don't have her. Pretty much my only thought process with that one. My man William Connery, he says, oh, you guys were talking to each other. Shaky says, would you ever date a Filipino with a kid? I hear that there are a lot of them. Shaky Warrior, I actually have zero problem dating a young lady with a kid. I just wouldn't marry them. And that's just my truth. Like, honestly, I don't have a problem with her having a kid 9 times out of 10. If she's real, 9 times out of 10, I'm going to be honest with you. This is how I judge Filipinas based on how the relationship flows with the Filipina that has a kid. For me, every girl that I've ever talked to or had conversations with or ever engaged in any type of, we'll just say any type of activity with, if they had a kid, I never met the kid. Most of the time, they kept the kid away. Like, it's not as if that girl's thrusting this kid in the spotlight or putting the kid in front of my face saying, this is my son. Can you help me with my son? They're not doing that. Most of the time, they got needs too, people. That's what I will say. Filipinos with kids, they got needs. That's why they're the best of the best of the best. Because 9 times out of 10, they're too busy to bother you because they have their own responsibilities. So if you're really in there like booty hair and the relationship with the young lady is already established to the point where she knows what to expect from you, you know what to expect from her. The way that I see it is she's not going to bring the kid around. She just wants you to help satisfy those needs and just be a shoulder to talk. I mean, just be that ear to talk to every now and again. She's not going to be underneath you all the time, because if she's busy, which I hope you are dealing with young ladies who have jobs or something to occupy their time, they don't have time to be underneath you all the time. They come to you when they need you, then they're back to business. So they're not getting on your nerves. So that's what I've learned from my perspective of dealing with single mothers. They're always busy. They contact you when they need it and they need it the most. And, you know, as long as you're willing to show up when the appointment is set, I kind of feel like those relationships are pretty solid for the most part. They don't really demand very much. I've learned that over time. Very much a people pleaser. But let's not get into that. I'm just saying that I have zero problem dating a single mother because I know what to expect with those relationships. And I think that if you've been in a relationship like that, you might have had it come out that way, or quite the opposite. Maybe the young lady is throwing that kid in front of your face, praying to God that you do something with it, help take care of it or something. Who knows? My man Get Lost Vlogs, what's good? My man said he'll never date a teenager. Yeah, 18 just seems too young. Like I said, dating, hooking up, 2 different things. Yeah, we're just gonna keep it at that. My man says you can't be serious with an 18-year-old at all. Hey, MD, don't knock them till you try them, my dude. Don't be knocking single mothers till you try them. Hey, man, you want to know why Doc was successful in the country? I keep it real with you. I keep it real, man. My success in the country and how I navigated my way around it was because I never really judged a woman based on her particular situation at the time. You know, everybody goes through shit. Hell, I went through my own shit. And because I respected what she went through and because I was able to talk and just have conversations with it and it wasn't anything serious, it was just something to, you know, take up time every now and again. It kind of made it easy for me. And that's just something that I learned over time, man. I mean, you guys got to realize something that's different about me that may be different from other foreigners. I want to make sure that I mention this because a lot of people probably take the way that I talk or the way that I actually do things or the way that I navigate around the country. You guys might take it a little bit different than I do. But I'm going to be honest with you. You guys have to realize I grew up in the Philippines. Yes, I am Black American. Yes, I am from the United States of America. But the highlight of my years growing up came from my time in the Philippines. We're talking about 17 to about 28, like 10 years, like 17, 28, something like that. So imagine the golden years of my life being spent in the country. So basically how I dated, how I navigated, I kind of did all of that overseas. You know, you guys probably dealt with the badass westernized women over here while I'm over here in the Philippines, probably dealing with women that didn't give me too much of a headache. Yes, I had my fair share of headaches, but this is where I grew up. So in hindsight, the way that I think or the way that I process stuff in the Philippines will always be different than the way that probably somebody else would if they just came to the country last year or within the last 5 years or so. Earl Owen says, I don't want another daughter. Yeah, I don't think you should be worried about getting any girls pregnant. SML says that old boy prefers a woman that's around the age of 24. I think 24 is a pretty good age. I do not discriminate against age at all, but 24 is definitely not a bad age range. Or not a bad age. It's not actually a range. My man Shaky says, you can't be serious dating an 18-year-old chick with anywhere on earth. Explain. All right, then explain to me why everybody else believes. Explain to me why you believe that everybody else or a couple of people that we know are actually getting into serious relationships with 18-year-olds. Explain to me why that is. If that's not the truth. Philippine truth teller was good. SML says they were going in on the chat. Oh, I don't know who y'all talking about. I have no idea who you're talking about, so Doc's just gonna skip over those. We'll be good. You said, what do I think about Terry's comments on Love Beyond the Sea? What comment was that? I'm reading comments, guys. You guys are definitely an entertaining crowd. While I'm looking, guys, y'all make sure y'all get the likes up on the video, man. Please make sure you do that one. MD, I hope you could stay for a minute too. That would be awesome. My man, Mr. Philippines says there's a lot of options in the Philippines for dating. It's just living in the cities isn't so fun. Urban X, Dr. Mike, you're right about that point. They think, well, the guy could take care of her, so why not? Kind of like what happened to somebody. Like marriage of convenience. Yeah, we talked about that. William, you do not want to know what the doc was into when he was 18 years old. I'll tell you that. You do not want to know that. SML, if they're not married in the eyes of the Lord or in the church, I doubt it. Urban X, you are 100% correct. The glory days were definitely far gone. We don't have those days anymore. All we can do is think about what it used to be like. James Miller was good, which he says, hey, Dr. Mike, I'm 41 years old. 18-year-old at my age is like it's the shit on the ground. Don't step in. And my Filipino is 28. 12 years is not a big a deal. No, not at all. I think honestly, I honestly believe that here's the truth about how I feel about age gaps. I never really talked about this, but in my personal opinion, about the age of 28 to about 30, I honestly believe that people stop thinking about age gaps when they reach those particular age ranges. Like 28, 29, and 30, you could be 60, you could be 100. Nobody really cares about the age gap when the girl reaches 30, because at that particular age, a lot of guys think that women have already reached the age of maturity, or the age of majority, the age of maturity, however you want to say it. So for you to be older and dating a Filipina that's in her like 28, 29, or 30, when it seems like she may have been past her prime, a lot of people stop caring about the age gaps, about that particular age range. Just, that's just my opinion. My man says you'll be arguing nonstop with a Filipina that's young. Remember, a 20-year-old is really like a 14-year-old. Yes, we've talked about it before. MD, great point. Younger Filipinas, they develop later on in life. Like, you know, a 21-year-old may have the mindset or the attitude of a chick that's like 15. They may still be highly immature. They mature later on in life. A lot of people say that women mature faster than men. In the Philippines, that's quite the opposite. I'm not saying that the guys are mature. They just both mature at kind of the same level, but they don't mature for the age level that they actually are, for sure. Christopher Lewin, you do not want to know what's in my cup, bro. We'll just call it some sweet water. Terry Edwards says he's getting a young 18-year-old cutie. She gets the latest iPhone. It's a win-win for both. Scott, what's good? He says, thanks for the live stream, brother. What do you think is the best way to meet women once in the Philippines? To be honest, the best way to meet women in the Philippines, you can just go out and about. I kind of think that going to like the local hangouts, you got to find out where the local hangouts are. Those will probably be the best ways to meet women. Honestly, if you're a shy type of person, or you don't really have good conversation skills, the way that I like to tell people, honestly, is to practice on the sales lady. You have to realize that the sales lady's sole purpose is to satisfy the customer, so she's always going to smile, she's always going to be friendly. So if you need to really just learn to get your conversation together with these Filipinas and you want to practice, I think sales ladies are definitely a great place to start. Number one, they have a job. Number two, they're going to talk to you because it's their job. Number three, whether you leave with a phone number a lot or not, at least you're able to, kind of develop your talking points or what you believe to be the best way to conversate with Filipinas. Then once you've kind of felt like you're doing it pretty well, or you kind of mastered it, you move on to the types of women that you like. He says it is presumptive to bring. Is it presumptive to bring condoms to a date? That's up to you, man. You do what you want to. Y'all do what you want to. He spent $100 per day for 20 years on this girl. Ooh. Shout out to my boy Daniel Tanner. What's good with you, man? Yes, Urban X, that is funny, man. A lot of these guys, now that's a great thing that you said. A lot of these guys who are dating women that are young possibly have girls that are the same age as like their daughters. These women are the same age, or they have children that are older than the girls that they're dating. It happens, man. You have a lot of guys who do that. But who am I? I'm just curious to understand, how serious can you honestly take a relationship with a Filipina that is 18 years of age or young? That's the best way for me. A younger Filipina. How serious can you actually take those relationships? Like I said, guys, I see we got 30 watching. I appreciate all 30 of y'all coming through and showing love. Y'all make sure y'all caress, molest, and de-stress that like button. It wants it, it needs it, it most definitely has to have it. I appreciate y'all being here. Appreciate you showing love. If you guys want to support the channel, please feel free to do so. Of course, I'm happy that you come through, spend a little bit of time with me today, Naya. And then we're having a dialogue about how serious can you take a relationship with an 18-year-old Filipina, or how serious do you honestly believe a relationship can be with a younger Filipina? We understand that they mature a whole lot later than your average woman would. So dealing with them and their immaturity and the tempo and all of that stuff can be a headache and an argument consistently. That's something to take into consideration. But we have guys that are of the older generation. I'm not going to give a specific age range, but y'all know what constitutes as an older foreigner or a more mature foreigner that are getting in relationships and actually potentially trying to marry these particular Filipinas. And how serious do you honestly believe these relationships can be? How serious do you honestly think these relationships are? I kind of feel like the interaction tells you a lot about a relationship, how they interact with the people that they're with, how they talk to them, how they speak with them, how they treat them. A lot of this stuff can tell you a lot about how that relationship is going to unfold. A lot of us, myself included, I believe a lot of guys are rushing into relationships. Again, we've had this talk again with my boy Jay about the simps and this anti-simping campaign. We're talking about a lot of guys coming to the country and marrying soon. A lot of these guys coming to the country, finding the first girl, falling in love. And, you know, within the first couple of months of meeting each other, you guys are talking about getting married and things like that. We have a lot of that particular narrative happening in the country. A lot of things that we've tried to steer foreigners away from. They're still doing it. So it's kind of becoming something that's repetitive in the topic of conversation. It's something that we definitely speak about on a consistent basis, but people still continue to do it. Because they still continue to do it, that's why we still have to continue to talk about this. That's why we still have to continue to talk about this. All right. Let's see what we got here. Urban X, man, you seem to have a lot of. I'm just reading an earlier comment that you made. You seem to have a lot of. You have the scoop on a lot of these older foreigners, man. You guys are killing it. I'm just reading the comments, man. But it's all good. I'm not tripping. Hey, Danny, what's going on with you, man? I hope everything is going well with you and Digos. I know I'm late, guys. I'm getting it. I'm getting to it. Rain Man, what's good with you? My boy Eddie Jackson, much love to you. Melvin Dim, what's going on? It's all good, man. Cebu, I'm just here for a short period of time, guys. I'm not in Cebu very long, so you know these videos they'll come out as I make them, but I'm not here very long, so it's not as if I actually planned it. We're here for probably a few days max, and then we're gonna go back to what we were doing. Rain Man, a lot of guys do get with relationships with 18-year-old Filipinas because they can. I respect that. But it's only when you start talking about marriage and taking the relationship seriously. That's my question. How honestly can you take, or how seriously can you take a relationship with younger Filipinas? That's where I stand. Urban X, you're funny, man. You're a great dude. You're funny. MD says a lot of those YouTubers are lying on YouTube. They are setting the guys in their audience up to fail. Filipinos are good, but those guys don't usually talk about the cons of dating. True. Pedro, there's nothing wrong with the idea of dating and trying to relive your youth when it comes to dating 18-year-old Filipinos, because that's why most guys come to the country anyways. I'm just concerned about guys who start to take relationships seriously with the younger Filipinos. That's where I believe that the narrative kind of changes. It definitely does set up a lot of guys for failure. That I do believe. To make believe that your relationship is going to be the way that the relationship is going to be with others in the country, it's just something that's not truthful. It's dodgy and it's sketchy at best. You understand? You can't sit there and believe everything that you see on YouTube. The one thing that I do pride myself on is I don't lie to y'all. All right. If there's one thing that I pride myself on in reference to my videos and my live streams and the way that I do things, I don't lie to you in reference to truthful relationships and the shit that you're going to go through, the shit storm that could possibly hit. And I kind of feel like it's BS when you have a lot of guys sharing in the positives of their relationship. It's funny because now that I think about it, in most videos that these guys make, I've never seen these guys in a video with their young lady having, like, you know, you see them together in their videos, right? usually the YouTuber and their significant other. They're talking about whatever they're talking about, but it's very rare that they come on there and discuss the issues that they have. And again, you don't owe that to your audience, but I think you owe it to your audience to explain that everything is not always peaches and cream. Granted, you want to show that the relationship is super awesome between you and your young lady. You want to show everybody that it's great, that it's fantastic, that is this, that is that. I got that. But yet and still, you don't share with your audience the truth. Like, sometimes we argue, sometimes we disagree, sometimes, we go through shit. You don't tell people that. If I have my young lady with me right now, she'll tell you the shit we go through, because at the end of the day, I'm not gonna sugarcoat shit with you. I love her to death. But sometimes you just go through those moments where y'all don't agree on shit. And it's just the truth. It happens to the best of us. But at the end of the day, if you can honestly show both sides of the relationship, if you can honestly show your audience, look, man, it's not going to always be great. Yes, she may look beautiful. Yes, she may be something that you are attracted to the same way that I'm attracted to her. But all that attraction, the grass ain't always greener, man. Sometimes we have our issues. Sometimes we have our struggles. I kind of feel like talking about it to an extent. I'm not saying you got to go into detail. That's too much. You don't want to give too much information out, but to at least be able to explain to your audience that they can't come here expecting that the relationship is going to be a complete 180 from a relationship with a westernized Filipina. Like, you're not going to deal with jealousy issues. You're not going to deal with, other types of issues that you may deal with westernized women. I kind of feel like that really does put a stain and a bad taste in a lot of guys' mouth when all you hear about is the positive of their relationship. Yeah, they may make videos about how, oh, well, you got to make sure you look out for this in the Filipina, make sure you look out for that in the Filipina. But when they put their relationship on screen, everything is so lovely. Everything is so awesome. The girl's hugged up on him. She's got her arm around them. They're locking arms. They're talking and this, that, and the other. I don't know, fam. I don't know. Urban X says they say Filipinos are the most attractive women. That's just a quote. Filipinos are just the most attractive women they could get in Asia. That's true. I mean, I have a high attraction to Filipinas, but then again, I have a high attraction to Asian women in general. Again, I kind of have a high attraction to just about every race of women. So I'm kind of fucked up. I don't necessarily. Are Filipinas the best in Asia or anything like that? That's a personal opinion. That's a yes or no based on you. Only you can prevent forest fires, and only you can answer that question for you. A lot of guys say it's Korean. A lot of guys will say it's Japanese. A lot of guys will say maybe Chinese. Vietnamese, Cambodian. There's so many different options. And I kind of feel like, honestly, these guys give their answer, or girls from Thailand, of course. A lot of these guys give their answers based off of the area that they spent the most time in. So like myself, I'm going to probably say Filipinas because I spent the majority of my time in Asia, in the Philippines. But I cannot lie. I will be honest with you, and this is the truth. Although my interaction has been limited, when I had conversations with Japanese women, it was just always so... I always felt good about the conversations that I had when I was dealing with, Japanese women, or the dialogue that I shared. It wasn't as if we were dating or anything, but the conversations just seemed to be happy. They always seem to be, it just depends. So again, it does depend on your communication and how well the dialogue is between you and a girl from that particular race or background, wherever she's from. All right. Melvin says, as long as she has not had some in her, you are the first. You can groom her and mold her. Okay. Chris says, Nikki off the 90-Day Fiance is so fine. She's skinny, but definitely you would hook up with her. Pedro, he said legal age, but not seriously dating. True. Agreed. Y'all been blocking people. I guess there's for good reason. I'm going to let you guys block who you want to block. Because, again, I don't have time to read the negativity, so I appreciate y'all taking care of that if you deem it unnecessary to speak on. Danny, I appreciate what you're doing, bro. My man Melvin says, the Filipina is the finest Asian woman if you have the right one. To many weak foreigners, marrying a woman because they get sprung out on, yeah, the young lady. You said you get played or you lose your money. I'm not going to debate on age and what girls look like. Filipinas are normally younger looking. My man, Big Spence, man, what's good with you? He says, I know for me, I will not marry or date an 18-year-old, but what another man does is his business. True. I don't check a man's pocket and I don't give two shits about who he dates. That is true. Nobody should care about who somebody else is dating. In my personal opinion, when I speak about it, I'm just asking out loud, honestly, how serious do you believe that you can take a relationship with a woman that is 18 years of age? How serious do you believe that a relationship could be with a younger Filipina, 22, 23 max, and down to the age of 18? It's just a dialogue that I believe that we can all share in a personal comment, maybe something you've seen, maybe something you've heard, personal experience. Me, I've dated Filipinas my age, my whole life. You know, that's all I ever had. Again, I started out young. So, you know, that's all I've ever known. But, you know, I've dated older than me and I thought it was pretty cool. I thought it was pretty cool, man. Thomas, what's good with you, man? He says the age gap between them two looks massive these days. Man, sometimes the Philippines are stressing people out, man. I think that over time, the Philippines takes its toll. Give me a second, guys. I want to talk about that too, man. My man Thomas, I appreciate you sharing in that one. You say my man's looking a little bit older nowadays, but what I've learned over time is this, man. The Philippines can take its toll on people. It can stress you out. It just depends on what you're doing while you're here. So over the years, you can see how people's how can I say this? How the appearance of somebody looks. Like I said, if a video starts out where a guy is skinny, then you gradually see him gaining weight. You'll see that through the videos over time. You can see that happening to me. That's cool. But over time, if you've been stressed out or you had a lot of things happening behind the scenes, that shit shows on the YouTube, man. It shows on the tube, bro. There's a lot of things that go on behind the scenes with a lot of foreigners, and they pay attention to way too much of what people say in the comment section. You know, they're being called out for this, whatever it may be, and it begins to show, man. You start to see, you know, skin complexion change and shit, and you good. And I mean, that's normally what happens. Thank God for me, I don't care enough about YouTube to stress out over what the fuck people gotta say about me. I don't stress out enough over what people have to say about me. Honestly, I kind of skip over comments and content that even remotely starts out negative because it's not going to do me any favor. If it's going to make me dwell on it too much, I just don't pay attention to it. Somebody be like, Doc, you ugly. You don't know what you're talking about, this, that, and the other. Yeah, some people who say shit like that, but you just got to take it with a grain of salt. Let's be honest, man. With the way people do on YouTube nowadays, it can fuck with your head, for sure. They say a lot of shit to troll. And in the building today. Shout out to fellow traveler, man. What's good with you, man? I am so late with the comments. Y'all be all right. My man Thomas says his girl looks like she's 14. Wait a minute. Never mind. I'm not gonna read that one. You say she looks like a 14-year-old, but she's 25. All right. My man Spence says, I also spent 22 years in the military and I've been around to over 30 countries. Salute to you and everybody who serves. Appreciate that. He says, I've seen very young women marrying older women. If it's their customs and traditions. Like I mentioned earlier, in the province, it may not be uncommon for a younger Filipina, 18 years old, to marry. It's not uncommon at all. But I'm just saying that dating a girl from the city or something like that, it's just very rare that I can honestly believe that you could take a relationship serious with a young lady that comes from that particular background, somebody who has been exposed to our culture, aka the Western culture. You know, it's just something that you should take into consideration, something to keep in mind. Again, 34 watching. Yo, somebody give me a like to dislike counter real quick so I can see where we're doing. Because I got to see what the numbers are. Y'all can't be over here listening to me talk my shit and not at least give your boy a like. At the very least, throw a like on this video. Okay? That's what I ask. At the very least, if you're going to listen to me talk, just like the damn video or the live stream. Please and thank you. But if you want to support, please feel free to do so. Y'all know how to do that. There's a super chat button, all that other shit. You know what it is. Guys, if you want to buy a book, if you guys want to get your very own copy of the Good Docs ebook, Yeah, look in the description area below. That's where you guys can get the best books ever written in the last. I started writing books 3 years ago. Yeah, y'all can take that. All right, Rayman, thank you. 22-0. I could live with that. Let's get the good doc to at least 30 likes. All right. Give me the 30 likes and I'd appreciate that. Earl, that's what you said, man. Can't date anyone younger than your daughter. Agreed. William William Connery, I hope you are still with me. You asked a very, 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 very good question. Okay? My man William Connery asked me, does the mean one ever get jealous or did she used to be that way? My girlfriend, honestly, yeah, she probably did back in the day. She used to get jealous. I mean, in the earlier part of your relationship, being the foreigner, you know the stereotype that we have. A lot of foreigners like to play around this, that, and the other. Yeah, it's cool. Um, Nowadays, my girlfriend doesn't really get jealous of anything. She'd be damned if any girl comes up to me though. She don't like that very much. And I'll tell you right now, my girlfriend will fight you. No cap. My girlfriend will throw hands at you. She will stare you up and down and she will put the hands on you if she has to. That's just her nature. And that's what the fuck I love about her. Like she don't play no games. You think I call her the mean one just because it sounds good. No, she's mean as hell. But I love that about her. That is an aspect about her that I like and an aspect about her that I respect because I know, heaven forbid, that we have to separate for any reason. Maybe I got to go be somewhere and she has to be here. At the very least, I know that my young lady knows how to take care of herself. That's really the big thing about me. Whenever we have to separate, because the time's going to come every now and again where Doc's got to go do some shit. But when we separate, I know for a fact that A, she'll never let anybody take advantage of her. B, I know that if she really has anything that she needs to ask me if we are apart, she'll definitely make sure she reaches out before making any decisions that are drastic or anything like that. She'll at least see how I feel about it, or she'll ask me what she think, damn it, she will ask me what do I think she should do. You understand? So at the end of the day, that's how my relationship is. In reference to jealousy, not too much anymore. I mean, we're old, man. We're like an old couple. You guys don't understand. You guys have zero idea how much history we have together. A lot of people think that this shit just happened, recently or a couple years ago. Dude, we got some history together, man. I'll tell you that. I ain't gonna tell you how many years, but we kind of been through all the bullshit. So the jealousy shit over time, it just became whatever. My girlfriend doesn't need to be everywhere that I am. I'll tell her that I want to go play poker. She'll be like, okay, whatever. Just bring me back some Starbucks or some shit. Like, that's kind of how the relationship is. Like, she doesn't have to be underneath me all the time. She doesn't have the assumption that every time I go out, I'm going to be doing something bad. So it's not like we have jealousy issues anymore, or that I ever feel like she's ever, thinking about, oh, what if he's doing this, what if he's doing that? Because if she does, she'll damn near ask me about it. That's the one thing that I respect about my young lady. She'll approach me. She'll ask me if she has a question. She has no problem asking me straight to my face what it is. So she's not really a jealous one anymore. Oscar, man, what's good with you, man? He says, I'm 42. My wife is 40. Our marriage is great with only one argument in 7 years. That's good. If she could have been 10 to 15 years younger, man, there would have been problems. I agree. Urban X. Okay, I'm just reading comments. The stress of the Philippines can get to people. That's what I will say. The stress of the Philippines can get to a lot of people. My man Danny says, if Oh shit! Looks like I got cut off my own stream. Sorry, people. Doc is here. Sorry. Yo, my shit started messing up, yo. I don't know. I'm afraid that there might be a virus on my shit. I pray that there's not, but we'll see. I'm sorry, guys, but I'm back. My apologies. I'm here, bitches. I'm here. Relax. I don't know, man. I got cut off my own shit, but it's okay. Doc is in the building. Back to what I was saying, so I really interrupted myself. Yeah, they got me. The Wallace life, man. What's good with you guys? Okay. Anyways, I'm here, people. I'm sorry. I don't know. My shit just had a flicker moment, and that's scary because y'all know what happens when your internet start flickering or when your TV start flickering. You never know what's gonna happen. But anyways, guys, like I said, Yo, people. I'm sorry. Hey, can you guys hear me? Press 1 if you can hear me, man. I apologize. I actually think I'm back now. That was interesting. I'm sorry. Yo, I need you guys to press 1 if you can actually hear me. That was a breach. There was a breach in the system, people. But I need you guys to press 1 if you can actually hear me. I had to turn the camera off. The shit was starting to act funny. My apologies. Yo, I really do apologize for that. I had to start my laptop over, all that good shit. Y'all are talking about some weird shit in my chat. Thank God I didn't have you on actually talking, because you motherfuckers say some weird stuff in my chat. Like, shout out to Philippines and beyond, man. I appreciate y'all coming through. I have no idea who y'all talk about. Red Lord, I'm sorry, people. I'm actually back. This shit's so bad, man. It's bad. Earl Owens, you're right, man. My girl is ride or die, and that's good to hear. It's always good to have. Like I said, I trust her as far as I can, man, and that's all that matters. But anyways, I'm glad that you guys can. I'm actually glad that you stuck it out with me. I apologize for the brief interruption. I'm back though. So again, I forgot where we left off at. But I'm glad that you guys can hear me. Okay, you guys are talking about somebody that I know nothing about. I'm not going there. I'm not saying no names. I'm good. But what I will say is that I do find young relationships with younger Filipinas to be very interesting. And if I have to be honest with you guys, the reason why I do find, yeah, Jerry, I saw that you just showed up, man, but I appreciate you coming through, man. It's just taking some time out of your busy day in the Philippines, living your retirement life to, kick it with me. I appreciate it. But here's what I've learned over time. I find that the relationships between younger Filipinas and older foreigners are very, very interesting. And the reason why I find them to be interesting is because of the appearance and the way that those particular relationships are looked upon by others. Now, of course, I'm not one to sit there and tell you, oh, you need to stress about what other people think about your relationship, because you really shouldn't care. I get that. You really shouldn't give two shits and a damn about what somebody else thinks about your relationship with who you're with. But in hindsight, the way that I look at it is, you're an older guy with this younger Filipina, and everybody's going to probably be looking at you like you're a joke, probably more so laughing at you than looking up to you. I don't know if that makes sense to a lot of people, but I'm going to be honest with you. There's a lot of people that will probably laugh at the relationship rather than look up to you for it. We like to believe that, yeah, man, people are going to idolize you because you're able to be with this younger Filipina, but the Filipinos, man, they're going to just laugh at you because they're probably going to think this girl isn't with you for no other reason but the simple fact that you're there to take care of her. People are literally going to look at you as if you were a joke. And again, I'm not saying that appearances mean anything or that it means everything. It probably shouldn't mean anything to you. But ultimately, I kind of feel like instead of being looked upon as this, this smooth operator or this guy with, with machismo, I know that's a corny ass fucking word to use, but how can I say this? To look at the relationship, like, you think you're cool, but everybody else looks at you like you're a joke. So that's also one aspect into the whole relationship with the Filipina, where a lot of guys get it really fucking confused really quick. A lot of people think that people look at them as if they really are something that they really are not. Some guys look at you like you're corny. Luckily for me, if I did date an 18-year-old, and I'm not saying that I would, I kind of look like I'm still relatively young, so nobody would really bat an eye at the relationship. They wouldn't be like, oh, why this, this guy who is X amount of years old with this young Filipina. Nobody really look at you sideways over that shit. I guess that's just one of those gifts and curses that I have. But I'm here to hear what you guys think. I know that you guys had way too much time to yourselves because y'all seem to be having a lot of conversations with yourselves. And that's cool, man. I appreciate y'all spending some time with me today. I know you could have been anywhere in the world, but you guys are here having conversations with yourselves while listening to me talk my nonsense as well. I lost about 10 people, which is cool because they were probably on their way to bigger and better things because even I thought that I was going, people. I thought that I was under attack, but it looks as if we're getting along very well. So, again, 23 people in the building. I appreciate all 23 of y'all coming through and showing love to the good doc. You know the rules. At the very least, get the likes up on the video. I would love to know my like to dislike counter if somebody can take care of that for me. If somebody could at least let me know that my likes have increased a little bit. We were at 22 a minute ago. I can't tell you where we are right now. But if you could do that, that would be awesome. I would also like to know, what else would I like to know? Oh, if you guys want to support the channel, please feel free to do so. But of course, I'm happy that you come through and spend a little bit of time with me today. Now and then. I'm happy to be here. It's always good to be able to share. How can I say this? It's always good to be able to share in a dialogue with my people. I know I don't come on and do live streams as much as I used to, but I think it's for good reason. The reason it is because I feel like if I talk too much or come on too much or too often, you guys will no longer want to see me. You'd be like, man, we see this dude every day, man. I'm tired of hearing him talk. Then that kind of defeats the purpose of why I choose to do what I do and why I choose to at least come on and have the conversation and the dialogue that we do. If we talk every day, you will start taking a shit for taking advantage of it. Like, we don't want to see him because we're used to seeing him all the time. So I'm glad that you're here. I'm just trying to figure out what the hell's going on my account right now. I'm looking at some other shit. I'm looking at my investments. That's why I'm kind of just talking through bullshit. We got 20. All right, Rainman said we got 25 in the building and 31 likes. Yes, I did get up to about 31, 35. That's awesome. That's pretty cool. I'm taking it. Rainman, I hope that you have a great trip coming through here to the Philippines, man. I know my man Shaky Warrior. Shout out to him. He was definitely how can I say this? My man was talking about his excitement for his trip to the Philippines, and I think everybody's first trip is always exciting. I think every time that I do get a chance to come back here, even I'm excited. I already know what I'm going to do. I already got my agenda planned out. I already know what I'm looking to get into, kind of the content that I want to film. I kind of have an idea of it, but in hindsight, your first time, there's nothing like your first time, man. Let's be honest. There's nothing like popping your Philippine cherry, man. If I'm going to be real with you, there's nothing like getting that out the way. My man Big Brother says some couples are interesting to watch. That's true. That's very true. I kind of enjoy watching some couples on YouTube as well. And the reason why I like to watch them is I like to watch the communication and the interaction. I think the way that you react or interact with your young lady in your videos tells a lot about you. I don't care if she's 18, 40, who cares? The way that you interact with your young lady in a video, that tells a lot about you and your relationship. Rain Man, I'll be in Davao. Oh, you're not talking to me. Never mind. A lot of people, what was I saying? Shit. I was reading comments and trying to talk at the exact same time. But there are some couples on YouTube that I find to be interesting. I wish, honestly, that me and my young lady really did take it serious to where we actually did have a channel to really show you guys our interaction, like no bullshit, no filter, no nothing. Cause you guys would really have like the funniest fucking conversation. Like if you guys really got to see us behind the scenes, I think you guys would fall in love with us as a couple. No homo shit, but you guys would really be like, yo, now I see why they're together. They really do complement each other well. This is the shit. Like my girlfriend, this is the shit. I'm just gonna give you guys an example. Cause my girl is funny because she knows me like the back of her hand. This shit's crazy. She knows me too well. There's one thing that I do that she likes, and she's recorded me doing this a lot. All right. Like my girl will watch something, like maybe it's a movie or maybe it's a TV show. And if she watches the episode before me, what she'll do is she'll watch it again with me, but she will record my reactions to me watching the video because she knows I'm gonna say some stupid shit. Like, for example, she likes to watch Agents of Shield. All right, that's just a show that she enjoys. I just as an example. And the way that I watch TV shows, I'm the person that talks to the TV. I'm like, yo, why the hell did he do that? Why is he there? Why is she going in there? Damn, that bitch ugly. I just say random shit. And she said, I'm gonna make a video of you just saying random shit while you're watching TV. It might be boring to some, but like that's just our life and like how we interact with each other. If she knows that I'm gonna say stupid shit because I'm known to do it when the cameras are off, it's just like, you like to see that particular interaction with couples and shit like that. And you get that with some people. You don't get it with everybody, but you definitely get it with some. So even I'm inclined to watch a couple of people on YouTube as well. My man Danny says people watching in the Philippines is a good hobby. I do. I study a lot of people. It's kind of scary a little bit. I like to see why people do what they do, how they react to certain things. That way, I'm not surprised when they do the shit that they do. Danny, much love to you, man. Rain, man, I'll be in Davao soon, bro. After I finish this leg here in Cebu, I'm going to Davao for sure. I'm not going anywhere else but Davao after I finish in Cebu. So that'll be my next destination. Heminger, I didn't move anywhere, man. I'm good. John's gonna say a lot of things about me, but it's good. I love it. It makes for entertainment, and if you guys play into it, I'm all for it. Okay, so Danny, you got people from out of town. Good luck to you, brother. Have fun, man. Shout out to my boy Reggie. What's good with you? He says, Dr. Mike, I remember when you and the mean one did a lot of videos of a couple years ago, but you all stopped. I enjoyed both. What happened? My girlfriend doesn't do YouTube anymore, man. That's really what happened. I told her I wanted to film a lot of videos, but she's just not into it like that anymore. She just doesn't like it. Like YouTube is just not for her. The consistency that it requires, I don't think she's really up for it. So we stopped. I mean, I'm always gonna keep it moving, but she just wasn't interested in doing it like that. Worked for me because at the end of the day, I already know what was gonna happen if her channel blew up. So hey, it is what it is. Rain Man, no, I am not the loudmouth guy who talks at the movie screen. I don't do that shit in public. Only when I'm at the house. Okay, only when I'm at the house. I would never do that in public. That's embarrassing. I'm not here to embarrass myself or the people that I'm with. That is something I do in the comfort of my own home or my Airbnb or wherever the hell I'm staying at the moment. I would never do that in public because that shit's that's sad. The person who says, don't go in the room, he gonna kill you. Yeah, nah, not that guy. Not that guy. All right, man. It looks like I've talked myself to death. I'm done. He says, hey, Dr. Meyer, bring our girl back. A channel is not a channel without the girls, especially in the Philippines. Yeah, there you go. Is actually, that's the reason why I don't like having my girl on too much. First of all, you got some thirsty people. Not y'all. I'm just saying, you got some thirsty people gonna say some shit. And it's gonna happen. It is what it is. But, sometimes they take that shit to the next level for no particular reason at all. She'll make special guest appearances like she's been doing. But other than that, she's comfortable doing shit behind the scenes. Like, she's comfortable being the camera lady if she wants to. My girlfriend likes photography, so she takes a hell of a lot of pictures. Thank God she doesn't post a lot of pictures because I'd be like, some of this shit is just embarrassing. But yeah, she's one of those types. She likes to be behind the camera. She's not much of a in front of the camera type person. You know me, I could talk for a year and a half and not give a shit. I could talk all day long, as you can tell in this particular live stream and every video that I do. I'm consistent with my talk. Sometimes you don't have people who can do that, and that's not really who she is. So she just really wasn't really up for the challenge. So it is what it is. Ray, man, you stupid, man. I see your comments. I see that shit. I'm gonna post that shit. That's funny. That right there is the comment of the day. That's why it gets posted. To be honest, I'm not really worried about that one, bruh. I'm not worried about it, but it is funny. It is definitely funny. It is what it is, man. If they gonna come for her, they'll come for her. What can I do about it? Yeah, too many trolls, man. Too many thirsty people. But I'm happy either way, man. I'm happy either way. My life goes on. My young lady's happy as long as I'm happy. She does what she does. I do what I do, and we make it happen, man. Oh yeah, man. Rain Man, it's cool, bro. That's how my man built his channel. It is what it is. I understand it and I know why you do what you do when you're doing it. I just I just think that it's probably a certain type of person that he goes after, and I'm just not the one. I'm truly not that guy. I'm not that guy. You understand? I'm gonna just keep it 100. I'm not really the guy that I think you should go after. Not because I'm big and bad and all that shit. None of that stuff. I'm just not the guy. I'm not the one. You know, with certain people, you can get away with certain things. Okay. That's real easy. That's real easy to do. But I kind of feel like, with all due respect, there are certain people that you don't try shit with. Like, you can look at somebody and you could tell when somebody is weak, or you could tell when somebody is where you could really get at a person, right? You could tell that. You can sniff that shit out in the video. You can see it in them. And if you show them weakness, oh, they'll come after you. They'll come for the throat. But there are certain people that you just don't try certain things with, and I try to be that person, mainly because I'm a friendly dude, mainly because I don't start no static, no drama. I kind of keep everything on the up and up. I respect everybody. I give everybody their due diligence. I don't come hard on nobody. That sounded gay. So let me take that back. I don't come after people. I don't, target individuals and stuff like that. Everybody is entitled to an opinion. I don't get mad at people for sharing their own opinion on my channel. I don't judge people based off of, what I've heard, only what you've shown me. I give everybody the benefit of the doubt. And because of that, like I said, you get nothing but respect from me. As a matter of fact, back in the day, I think, honestly, I'll be honest with you. I don't know if you guys will ever go back and find this, but when old boy was making his YouTube debut back when he had like 600 subscribers, me and Jay did a live stream. And I said, Jay, this guy right here, because of the videos that he's posted and the way that he's putting it out, I told him he was going to probably outdo a lot of guys in this particular sector because he's putting out the content that guys want to see. And to an extent, granted, the numbers may have slowed in the subscribe counter, but he's definitely grown significantly over time. And like I said, man, everybody deserves that respect. I know what people want, and I know that this was going to be big for him. I even left comments on his videos, man. I even wanted to have him on the channel back in the day. I truly did. I think I asked him. I didn't have an email or nothing for the dude, so I just left a comment, whether he saw it or not. I did invite him on to have a, conversation and a dialogue with the good dog, talk about his experiences in the country. So again, everybody gets the benefit of the doubt. So, like I said, I have no ill will or malicious intent towards anybody. I think everybody deserves to do their channel the way that they want to. Everybody has their reasons for doing what they do and saying what they do. No different than me. I say what I do and do what I does. And ain't nobody gonna say shit to me. It's just the truth. If I'm gonna say it, I'm gonna say it, and you're just gonna have to respect it or reject it or get over it. One of the two. My man Reggie says, I plan on retiring in March. If you have a bank account in the US, do you just do the ATM month to month, or is it better to open an account there? Well, Reggie, it usually takes about a year. Normally, there are smaller banks that you can actually how can I say this? There are some some banks where you can open up peso accounts and everything is good to go. But most of the time they require you to be in the country for at least a year or so. If you're in the country for about a year, you establish residence somewhere, you shouldn't have a problem with the bank account. But you can do the month to month thing. I mean, opening up a Philippine bank account isn't hard. You know, you got to have your ACR card, passport, you know, your forms of ID. And normally you can open it up in the same day. But it depends on what you really want. Do you want a peso account? Do you feel like you're going to make deposits in the Philippines? Do you feel like you need it? Or, you know, because the Philippines is a cash-based country, likely you're just going to spend in cash. So you just have to think about what's important for you. That's all. But that's what it is, bro. That's all I can say. Mm, mm. All right, guys. It looks like we've stretched this out long enough. I think everybody's done doing what they're doing and having the fun that they're having. All right. I should give shout outs, man. But guys, I'm sorry. The throat's hurting, man. I think I'm good on the shout outs tonight. But I do appreciate y'all spending time with me today, man. You guys could have been anywhere in the world, but you've decided to, at the very least, come through and spend some time with Doc. So here's what we're gonna do, ladies and gentlemen. I'm gonna go ahead and close it out. You know the rules. If you have anything else you want to say, any shout out, you want your name shouted out, by all means, just leave it down in the comment section. I'll make sure I take care of it. So anybody that's on right now, I'm going to shout you out. So I see Heminger. Appreciate you. Rain Man, Julian, I see you guys. I know you guys have your very own dialogue, so I just leave it be. If anything's directed at me, then I respond. If it's not, I let you have it out. Big brother, what's good with you, man? Philippines Beyond, Jerry, always a pleasure. My boy Reginald Graham, appreciate y'all being here, showing love to the doc. My boy Big Brother from another. Thank you guys for being here. Rain Man, Danny Gordon, Earl Owens, appreciate you, man. I appreciate all of you guys being here. I got to make sure I hit you all up. My man Thomas, always a pleasure. My man Big Spence, thank you. Daniel Tanner, thank you guys for being here, spending time with me today. It's been awesome. We've definitely talked on some things that I thought were very pertinent, some things to talk about. Robert Morris, always a pleasure. Terry Edwards, Red Lord. I was going to say your whole name, but thank you, man. Thank you for being here. Shit, who else we got? My boy JD. Appreciate you being here, man. I didn't get a chance to shout you out earlier because I went out, but I see you in the building. Fellow traveler, always a pleasure, man. If I miss your name, leave it down at the bottom. Terry Edwards, Philippines Truth Teller, Urban IX, or is that Urban 10? Or is that Urban, 9 or 10? Yeah, it's 9. I'm sorry. If that's the Roman numeral for 9, let me know. I'm sorry. The Wildest Life, man. Thank you for being here. My boy Tim H. Thank you guys. I know I'm just here. William Connery, always a pleasure, man. I'm glad that you actually waited for your answer. I was really late. You know, I get caught up in my own shit. I'm sorry. But I'm glad you waited, and I hope that I answered the question. Oscar, thank you for being here. My boy MD, I know you were out. If I miss your name, leave it down at the bottom, please. 26 watching, man. Y'all make sure you get the likes up on the way out. I would appreciate that. My boy El Padrino, thank you for being here. Pedro, always a pleasure. My boy Melvin, thank you for being here. Eddie Jackson, always a pleasure, my brother. Mr. Philippines himself. Shit. My boy Get Lost Vlogs, my man Scott 56. Thank you guys. I'm shouting all of you guys out. My boy James Miller, always a pleasure, man. All the way from the great state of Indiana. I like seeing my boy James in the comment section. I like it. My boy Shaky Warrior, thank you. My boy Christopher Lewin, all the way from my city. Appreciate you being here, boy. Much love to you, family. And when I get back home, man, we should definitely link the fuck up. We're going to figure out that one later on, all right? I think I got everybody, man. Essential Classics, man. He was here earlier. Damn it. My bad that I missed you, man. And I think that's it. I'm going to scroll all the way back down and see what I missed. If I didn't miss you, then I'm going to go ahead and call it an evening, man. Just give me a minute, guys. I got to scroll all the way back down. Just a lot of people talking. All right. John, always a pleasure, man. I see you. Anyways, all right. I'm good, man. I just had to count and get through all these people, man. I'm good, ladies and gentlemen. Thank you for being here. Until the next time, we should have a great one coming up the next time. I got a video dropping tomorrow, guys, for you guys, Eastern Standard Time, 8 a.m. I got a video coming out that I think is awesome. I really want you guys to watch it. I think it's going to be great. There are some things that I talk about that I honestly think will be helpful in the years to come. But hey, it has been fun. It has been real, but you know what time it is. It's time for me to go. So, with that being said, the good doc is officially out. Alis nako, paalam, which means I am going. Bye-bye. As always, love you guys. Maha kita. Mabuhay. Peace.